Hello, everybody. I am Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library. Thank you very much for joining me for this week's book report. So this week I have stories about the moon to share with you. And here's a moon book that I just love, 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 love. Goodnight Moon. I think it's the best, but I'm also thinking that you might already know about Goodnight Moons. So besides this one, here are 5 other moon stories that I really like. This one is called Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me, and it's written and illustrated by Carle. This book is written by Patricia MacLachlan, who wrote a book called Sarah Plain and Tall, and Tomie dePaola, who illustrated and wrote lots of books like Stregonona, but this is a book they did together called The Moon's Almost Here. And this book is about sometimes you just need to go away and be by yourself. This story is called Leave Me Alone, and it's written and illustrated by Vera Brosgol. This book is called Sun and Moon Have a Tea Party, and is written by Yumi and is illustrated by Naoko Stoop. And this last one is called How to Be on the Moon. It's written and illustrated by Viviane Schwarz. So let me tell you a little bit more about these ones. Now, I'm sure you know Carle too, because you know about the caterpillar. Oops, there's a caterpillar. The caterpillar back here. This is a poster by Carle, but this is another book that Carle did called Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me. In this story, a little girl named Monica loves looking at the moon, and she thinks, oh, I wish I could play with the moon. It looks so close. She feels like she could just reach up and touch it. But even when her papa's holding her, she still can't quite touch the moon. So she says, Papa, please get the moon for me. And Papa, being a very good papa, decides, okay, he's going to try to get the moon for Monica. So he gets a very, 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 very long ladder. Whoa, it starts way over here, ends way over here. He gets his long ladder. He climbs up a mountain. And then he puts the ladder down and he climbs up and up and up and up and up on the ladder until finally he reaches the moon. But he realizes, the moon really is quite big. So what's he going to do? How's he going to be able to bring the moon back to his daughter? Well, the moon has an idea. So if you check this book out from the library, you can find out. Does Papa bring the moon down? Does Monica get to play with it? What happens when the moon maybe changes a little bit? So this is Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me. And this one, The Moon's Almost Here, I just think this is just a sweet, sweet story to read before you go to bed. It is a really quiet story, quiet kind of pictures. It's so quiet that the Papa in this story works as a mime. And if you know mimes, they just act things out without talking. So it's very quiet, and his son's quiet, and all the animals are quiet because they're getting ready to go to bed. So the father and the son see the babies returning to their nest, the baby birds. And the lamb and the sheep, they're getting ready to go to sleep. It's getting dark. The moon's almost here, they tell the little chicks. Time for you to go to bed. Oh, and the ducks, time for you to go to bed. The horses, all the animals are getting ready for bed. Even the cat and the dog, they're watching. Can you see right here? The moon's starting to come up. And then the father and the child say, oh, welcome, moon. welcome. Oh, the beautiful big moon shining over all of us. So that's their bedtime routine. When the moon is full, they go out to welcome the moon. So you can read this story before bed, and then maybe you'd be inspired to go out and welcome the moon too. This story, Leave Me Alone, it's not quite that peaceful and tranquil and quiet. The woman in this story, sometimes she's just needs to be alone. But she needs to be left alone for a good reason, because she has a lot of knitting to do. She was an old woman, and she lived in a small village, in a small house, with a very big family. Oh, it is a little bit crowded. There are a lot of grandchildren. But winter's coming, so she needs to knit new sweaters for all these grandchildren. They've outgrown the other sweaters, so she has lots and lots of knitting. If you see all the yarn she has, there are so many grandchildren that all need sweaters. She has important knitting to do, but it was not getting done. So she decides she's got to do something a little bit drastic. So she makes her bed, she sweeps the cottage, she drinks some tea from her samovar, she packs up all that yarn, and then she yells, "Leave me alone!" And she goes off by herself. So she goes deep into the forest, but wouldn't you know, there are bears there, and the bear cubs are playing with their yarn, and the mama bear is a little cranky, so she says, "Leave me alone." And she goes off and climbs up the mountain. But wouldn't you know, there are goats there, and they are eating her yarn. They think those are snacks, so she keeps going. She yells, "Leave me alone," and heads farther up the mountain, up to the very, very top. And when she gets to the moon, she just keeps going. She thinks, surely she can be alone on the moon and do her knitting. But, oh my goodness, wouldn't you know it, the moon was full of little moon men, and they just would not leave her alone either. What is this old woman supposed to do? How is she going to get her knitting done? Well, check this book out and find out. Does she get her knitting done? Are her grandkids going to be cold during the winter? Just have to find out when you take the book out from the library. Now this one, Sun and Moon have a tea party. Have you ever seen, sometimes you can see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time? Well, when that happens, they're enjoying a tea party. They are friends. They like to talk to each other. They like to drink their tea, have some snacks, maybe some cookies or scones or something. But, they make polite conversation, and the moon says, "Do you know that parents get their kids ready for bed? That's what they do." And the sun says, "No, that's not what they do. They get their kids ready for school." And the moon says, No. Children have to go to sleep." And the sun says, "No, children have to go to school. It's very busy during the day." And the moon says, "No, it is not. It is very quiet during the night." And they are starting to get, they're starting to raise their voices. They're starting to say, "No, that is not what is out there." Until finally their friend, the cloud, comes along and tells them, "You know what? You might both be right. If you stay up past your bedtime, so if the moon stays awake during the day and the sun stays awake at night, you might see something different." And what do you think? They might. So you can find out what they think after they stay up past their bedtime and experience the world a little bit differently. And this story is about Anna and Crocodile, how to be on the moon. Anna and Crocodile are best friends. So they do everything together. Here they're playing a game, but then Anna gets an idea. She says, "Let's go to the moon." And Crocodile says, "Well, the moon is way out in space. Space is dark. There's nobody there. The moon is very, very far away. it will be almost impossible for us to do that. And Anna says, I like that. I like trying the impossible. Let's go. So they build a rocket and they think they're going to need sandwiches. Crocodile says, it's going to take us a long time to get there. We're going to have to go really fast because we don't want to run out of sandwiches. So Anna says, you make the sandwiches, I'll make the speed. So Anna built a rocket. Crocodile made the sandwiches. And then they say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! And there they go. And space is really fun because they find out they don't even have to hold the sandwiches. They can just let the sandwiches float into their mouths. But it does take a long time, so Anna has a little rest. And then after take a long, long, long journey, the rocket lands right on the moon. And then it is time to go out and explore. How about that? Yeah, like the little old woman who wanted to be alone. Look, they can be alone on the moon. What do you think? Would it be fun to go see the moon? Go back and see Earth from space? I don't know. I think it would be kind of interesting, but I don't know if I'd have enough sandwiches to get all the way to the moon. So you can see what Anna and Crocodile do next in this story. And you can check out all of these books from the library. You can come in and get them from the children's room. You can always put a reserve on them and pick them up that way, and we'll have them waiting for you. But friends, I hope you will enjoy looking at the moon. I hope you'll enjoy reading these moon stories if you ever come in to check them out. And if you have other moon stories, and I hope you enjoy reading Goodnight Moon too. I hope you enjoy looking at the moon and reading all your moon stories. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again next week, friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.